Hi guys, it's Tracy in Australia and I have popped in to share my latest project, which is this fabulous steampunk journal, and I've called it the Time Machine, and you can see why. So hopefully this looks like it could have been found in a time machine. This is supposed to be a family journal about time travel. So it's quite big. It measures 5.5 by 8 inches. The spine is a whopping 4¼ inches. It's a repurposed book. I widened the spine and decorated using embossing folder with black cardstock, and then this part is actually one of these soft molds from Stamperia using their cream paste, and then I have used various paints and waxes to get the finish. So the closure is also paper, but I've used some craft text inside it, and I used magnets to hold it closed. So I wanted the journal to sit flat. I didn't want it to be a big gator mouth. And let's get right into it. It's very big. There are 4 signatures, about 6 to 8 pages in each one, all commercial papers, but from a whole range of places. So I'll leave a few of those in the description box. At this point, I don't know even what a lot of them are. So to begin with, we have our patriarch, who started off this whole time travel idea, and he's obviously interested in flight and also in time. How cool is this? So this was a copy of a French piece that was first published in 1690, and it's the costume, and a fantastical costume of a clockmaker showing all of their wares. I love this stamp. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. And I use that quite often when I do things. That comes from in that pocket. I'm just going to open that. Love all this tattiness. I wanted it to look really old, like this had been thumbed through a lot. And I like that this moves. And how cute is this guy here? So there's a little pocket here, and in that were these pieces. Fabulous hot air balloon and a postcard. Love this image. I've used it quite a few times. Again, grandpa in or great-grandpa in hot air balloon. This is gorgeous paper. It comes from a vintage stamp album. And I wanted this to look like, you know, great-grandpa writing down ideas and thinking things through. I like printing onto tracing paper and gorgeous images of early forms of air travel. Map that I've printed onto vellum, and this is actually a commercial piece. The only digitals that I've used are pretty much the steampunk photos that are in the later parts of the journal. So these were just pages from a book that I gutted, and I just saved those because I thought that I might be able to use them later on. Love this piece. It was from an old atlas, and I love that the world has been carried on the shoulders of this guy. Gorgeous foxing on the back. So this was a perfect place to use it. I tried to give up some of my treasures to put in this journal. So little tickets there. So in 1895, H.G. Wells wrote The Time Machine, and this is the beginning of that book. It's obviously a copy. You can find it free online. This is one of the digitals that I said was an Etsy purchase, and I've used several different ones. At this point, I can't remember, but I will just leave a list of the shops that I've purchased from. So this is very cool. It's my first moving interactive piece, and I'll leave a link to the Crafty Bohemian, Ava, which is where I got this kit, and also the tutorial that I've followed. This is the astronomical component of the Prague clock, and this little part is actually medieval and first mentioned in 1410, so it's very old. So again, a tag that I've made, and this was a really cool thing. I waxed this printout, and it really changed the feel, and there's a little bit of opaqueness as well. So that was supposed to be a faux travel document, because before we had passports, you used to take a letter. So as we move on towards the 1900s, the late 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, I imagined that either grandpa's son or daughter got married and had a child, and I've made a faux cabinet card showing dad and daughter, and on this side is a Spellbinder's locket die, and I've put a beautiful woman in that, and that's obviously mum. And I was thinking that mum and dad both were interested in science and met at one of the Royal Society of London's soirees. Now, women weren't allowed to be members of the society until 1945, but they were able to attend soirees, and they were able to present papers at the society. So a little flip down, science experiment. So obviously their daughter is going to be interested in science, and this young lady develops an interest in flight. I wonder if she got that from Granddad. So some pieces there relating to balloons in France. And while she's in France, she has a cabinet card done, Etsy purchase, and again, a tutorial by Ava about using embossing folders to create interest on the cabinet card. And there's also a letter, reproduction letter. So this commercial page I just added the die cuts to. This one flips out, and we've got some more pieces about ballooning, and photo of the young woman in a hot air balloon, and also copy of an early aviator, 1811, who was female. She used to go around and do exhibitions. And there were also French and other European women who became pilots when, you know, planes started to appear. And there are details about a young French lady. And also at that time, cars were starting to appear, and this is a picture of Bertha Benz in a very early car. So I made this about a month ago. It's very cool little pop-up, and I will link the tutorial that I followed in the description box. So it's very cool. I love how it turned out. And it was actually, it was a bit fiddly, but it was actually quite easy following the tutorial. I had to adjust it because I wanted to use gears and cogs, and the actual tutorial used butterflies. So I had to adjust it a little bit. So this says, unlock your dreams. Again, commercial piece, and I've just put it onto old paper, crumbly paper. It just gives that really, really vintage feel to it. Acetate piece from Kaisercraft. The other acetate pieces of the clocks are also from Kaisercraft. So this one folds out, and here I had an old postcard that I didn't like the cover of, and I've added this one, which shows a very early female astronomer. And in 1912, a very young Albert Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, and this is a copy of one of his workbooks. And that relates to time travel, because as part of his theory of relativity, the idea that you might be able to travel forward in time came about. So that is the key to time, all right? That piece is from Stamperia. The clockwise papers, and just a German book page there. And this little bit flips open, and there we have one of the little girls who are part of this family from the future. So I think this is the third signature, and again another pop-up from Ava from Bohemian Crafting. And you can see I've used some clock pieces from Stamperia, and you open that, and as you open it, this bit pops up, right? So it's laying flat and then it pops up. So behind that is the periodic table, and Ava has a printable that you can purchase and a tutorial that you can watch. So a card, just a quick card that I've made, and it says follow your inner compass. There's also a little clock piece. And this is one of my favorite papers. I've been hoarding this forever, and I have used little pieces of it, but I didn't want to cover it up. I love these guys on the clocks. So I made an acetate pocket, and then I popped in little bits and pieces. One of the things I love about the steampunk genre is that it's set in Victorian times. So, you know, lots of gorgeous costumes, and, you know, the romance of the steam train and horses and beautiful buildings. So just lots of fun. So this one flips down, and I've just included, this is a Tim Holtz stamp and a little commercial piece. And here is another little time traveler who has come back to visit the Rellies. And that says, the world of reality has its limits, but the world of imagination is boundless. This is one of my favorite images. It's from Voyages Fantastique, the Stamperia collection. I fussy cut that, popped in some railroad ephemera. There's a ticket for the Orient Express. And then I made a tag that actually folds out, and put in 2 copies of vintage photos. This one shows roller skates, which are fairly amazing, and a very dangerous early flying machine. These are bicycle wheels, and this guy's just hanging underneath it. So not sure if I mentioned these pages. They are gorgeous. It was from an old stamp album, and on them they're embossed spider webs and spiders. It's very beautiful. And then these old book pages, which are from an old mechanics book from the 1930s. Gorgeous images. I've been using that one sparingly for years. Blanche stamp, which I love. And fabulous photo of a mechanical horse. And a patent, 1893, for a mechanical horse. Not sure whether this one is AI or not. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell these days. So this is my other pop-up. I'll just open that again so that you can see. So you open that and these gears are on little paper arms and they move. So I watched several tutorials. I made this 6 months ago, and so I can't link one particular tutorial, but yeah, they're mechanical arms for a pop-up. So another Prima piece about glasses, and then this is from a German book about motoring, the history of motoring. That's a Benz car there. Mercedes. My father-in-law was a mechanic, and so yeah, this would have been one of his books. And fabulous advertising on the back, so I thought that went really well in here. Love this paper, and a fabulous AI Etsy digital. When you look for the steampunk digitals on Etsy, just make sure that you look really carefully. There's some fabulous ones, but there are also some that are not very good quality. So you just have to really zoom in and look at what you're purchasing. So this is another pop-up from Ava. And so there's a secret space here and a card that you don't see when it's closed. So it just sits flat, and then it says the future awaits. And when you pop it up, those with the courage to create, and you can see the fabulous picture at the top. So I really enjoyed doing these interactive parts. I only started last year, and it's a rabbit hole. So much fun. Bit of washi tape. A Stamperia card that I've turned into a pocket. The world of reality has its limits, but the world of imagination is boundless. And a little tag. There's a tiny little magnet that holds that closed. And a really cute little visitor from the future. And this is the final signature. So here I imagined that this is a grandchild. There's a report card and their little bestie, a very steampunk mouse. And said child is very interested in robots. There's a patent for a robot. My favourite man. Everything you can imagine is real. Pablo Picasso. This one flips up. And we've got a young steampunk couple. Love the headgear. And a fabulous time machine or means of transport. And also, this was one of my most recent Etsy purchases, and I just love this. I was looking for something to do with, you know, steampunk, a city, and I found this, okay? So this is like a house that's in a clock. It doesn't get any better for me. To be able to carry your house around in a little clock, how cool would that be? And This one opens out. It's a Stamperia paper, Voyages Fantastique. And on the front here, the time machine, and that actually moves around. And in a little pocket there, we've got another fabulous steampunk mode of transport. And that one was a digital. That's from Picwaves. I can actually remember that one. So this little page here opens out when you take that clip off. This moves around and you can flip it open, and there's a little tag in there. Little steampunk girl. And then it also flips open this way. And some steampunk siblings. A little ticket to the British Museum. And this is the center of this signature, and these balloons actually move up and down. Now, I did this one 6 months ago, so I don't actually remember the tutorial that I watched to do that. And here I've just used some gears to put in some little tickets. Dare to live the life you want, and the best way to predict the future is to invent it. They're from Stamperia. I've had this digital for a long time. I've just added the gears on top, and it says, "'Tis not too late to seek a newer world, Alfred Lord Tennyson." And that's a really gorgeous steampunk fairy. And in that pocket is also this fabulous drawing, which shows a flying machine that's in the shape of a swan. Now, this guy did a lot of similar drawings around 1900. I'll leave his name in the description box because they are truly fabulous. I've used them before. Again, another Etsy digital. Some stamping. I love this Blanche stamp. And over the top of that, I've just made a little, I'm thinking of this as like a little travel wallet with the pics of the kids in it. And that just sits in there. And this is held down by a magnet. There's actually a little, you could tuck something in there. I haven't yet. And that opens up. And then cute little steampunk dog, because every family needs a pet. And he's all geared up for travel. Another Blanche stamp. More of that fabulous engineering book. And here I've just used a die cut. It's got hands of a clock, and it says the world is yours to explore, and there's a little world on the back of it, and I've got adventure is waiting. And a final little one here, a little tag with cogs and clocks on it, and a fabulous little series of pictures from House Whimsey, and I've turned those into a film strip. Okay, that's my very large steampunk journal. I hope you've enjoyed the flip through, and I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, just put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.